Najaf, one of the biggest cemeteries in the world. Shiite Muslims from all over Iraq want to be buried near their holiest shrine. More and more have been killed by Iraq's Sunni Muslim insurgents, blown up in suicide bombs or kidnapped and killed. A campaign that started off targeting American troops, then the new Iraqi police and army, has become more and more nakedly sectarian. These bodies, 24 of them, are all from Madaen, a country area southeast of Baghdad. It hit the news in April with confused reports of a mass kidnapping of Shiites and scores of bodies retrieved from the Tigris River. We tracked down Shiites who have fled Madaen and pieced together a story that goes far beyond one incident. A reign of terror stretching back more than a year by Sunni insurgents who increasingly see any Shiite Muslim as an agent of the new Iraqi state they are fighting to destroy. Our most important witness was too terrified to be filmed inside Iraq. His brother had been kidnapped and almost certainly killed. We arranged to meet here in neighbouring Jordan. Abu Qasim says the Sunni groups formed straight after the US invasion overthrew Saddam Hussein in April 2003. Local Sunni clan leaders seized weapons stores and started training men on farms abandoned by high-ranking Baathists. They argued they had to defend themselves against attack by Shiite militias. Saddam's Sunni regime had always been strong here. There was an intelligence base where prisoners were bussed to be shot and a biological weapons facility. Abu Qasim says the killing of Shiites started in mid-2004 after a failed American assault on the insurgent capital of Fallujah.
هذه المجاميع بدأت تنتهج منهج ثاني.
These groups became sectarian. Anyone who was a member of the Shiite Supreme Council Party, led by Abdulaziz al-Hakim, they would kill. Anyone who belonged to the Dawah Party, led by Ibrahim Jafari, they would kill.
ينتمي الحزب الدعوة اللي يقود إبراهيم الجعفري يقومون بقتله.
When Shiite religious figures led by Grand Ayatollah Ali Sistani enthusiastically supported Iraq's first post-war elections in January, the Sunni insurgents in Madaen declared open war. Abu Muhammad fled to Najaf with his family soon after that. He's related to Ayatollah Sistani's representative in Madaen, Sheikh Mahmoud. 15 carloads of armed men ambushed the sheikh as he was being driven home from evening prayers. He and one of his sons died in a hailstorm of bullets. The insurgents later tried to blow up the small Shiite mosque, or Husseiniya, which he had founded.
The danger we faced after Sheikh Mahmoud was assassinated, may God have mercy on his soul, was that we were targeted specifically because we belonged to this sect. Those who were close to Sheikh Mahmoud, prominent people, those who went to his funeral, they became marked men.
All our witnesses from Madaen and the nearby area of Dora are convinced the insurgents have been protected by relatives in senior jobs in the Iraqi Interior Ministry. The American-appointed government, which was in power last year, brought in former members of Saddam's Ba'ath Party to fight other former Ba'athists who were leading the insurgency. And this was the price.
We received detailed information that people who were arrested because they were terrorists and put in prison and even confessed on television were released a short time later in return for money.
Abu Qasim says that after Sheikh Mahmoud's death, Shiites from Madaen met officials at the Interior Ministry and urged them to take action. The ministry did send a big force in early February. But this is what happened. This is the insurgents' own video. They ambushed the police column and all but wiped it out. The Shiites are convinced the insurgents had inside information. From then on, it was open season against Shiites in Madaen. The insurgents blamed the Shiites for bringing the police raid and took their revenge. The Qazims are among about 80 Shiite families, perhaps 1,000 people in all, who've been ethnically cleansed from Madaen. They're now renting a house in the Baghdad shanty of Sadr city.
My brothers Yasin and Ibrahim went out one day and didn't come back. Every day someone was being killed. Then they killed the woman who ran the ration distribution. After they killed her, we found messages on our doors telling us to get out. Then they fired a grenade at the house.
Her surviving brother, Man, shops for food. Their government ration cards are only valid at home, so here in Baghdad, food is expensive.
احنا منطقة 80 بيت كنا شيعة دخلونا الإرهابيين الخونة قالوا أنتم.
It was an area of 80 houses. We were Shia. These terrorists came and said, Shia are unclean. They must leave. This is our area. They cleared the whole area. They took the houses of the people who left. We didn't leave at first. We stayed for a day. We had our orchard there. Then 20 or 25 armed men came to the house. We couldn't resist them. We had to run away. When we ran away, they went into the house and destroyed it. They burned the house down, stole our money, stole our gold. They took everything. Then they killed 2 of my brothers. One was out looking for work. They killed him in the street. Then they killed my other brother. The shock gave my father a stroke. So we left the area.
براه الشارع قتلوه ولا بالشارع الثاني قتلوه ماكو يعني شهر وقتلوهم اثنيناتهم اخوتي والدي على اثر هاي الصدمه صار عندنا جلطه وشيلونا من هالمنطقه مالتنا.
Shiites report the same pattern in other areas on the southern outskirts of Baghdad. Abu Yasin lived in the outer suburb of Dawra for 30 years. He says most Sunnis are moderates, but Sunni armed groups led by Baathists and Islamists have driven out almost all the Shiites and Christians. Over several months, he says they killed 300 young men, many of them his friends. He's now a refugee in Najaf.
They worked in stages. First, they wrote slogans on walls. We will kill spies and agents and those who help the Americans or join the police. Then they began to kill people. Just a few at first. They would put propaganda out that this person was a spy before they killed him. Then it became clear that they were killing people who were not in the police or army. They were just targeting Shiites.
Abu Qasim says Shiites have now reached breaking point.
ومع ذلك المراجع الخاصة بالشيعة
The Shiite religious leaders urge restraint. But brother, people have started to lose patience. There's a civil war blazing, but from one side only, they're killing Shiites.
هم يقتلون وطفح الكيل بالنسبة للناس الشيعة.
There are signs that some Shiites have gone beyond breaking point. This is the Sunni mosque of Al-Khair in a middle-class suburb of Baghdad. It was raided by police from the new Shiite-led government and several worshippers arrested.
Are these explosives? Is this TNT? They broke this door down. They kicked it down. They kicked it down like this. This is the house of God. You shouldn't even touch this door with your hand. This wasn't a Muslim, it was a Jew.
At another Sunni mosque not far away, the Mosque of Omar Mukhtar, a big force of police beat and dragged away the prayer leader. His replacement denounces the raids on Sunni mosques as blatantly sectarian.
The raids on the Mosque of Al-Khair and the Mosque of Omar Mukhtar are clear evidence of sectarianism. Why are only these mosques raided and the imam and worshippers arrested? What can we call that other than sectarianism? To those dragging us into the quicksand of sectarianism, we say, enough.
Worse is a recent wave of killings of Sunnis. There's been a spate of assassinations of Sunni clerics. More than 30 bodies of Sunnis were found in 3 groups dumped on the edges of Baghdad in May, bound and shot. The Sunni Association of Muslim Scholars accused the Shiite Badr militia of killing the clerics and closed Sunni mosques for 3 days in protest. Badr denied it. The Sunni Iraq Islamic Party held a news conference at which it showed gruesome video of the bodies of one group of victims. It produced witnesses who said the men had been market workers dragged from their trucks in the middle of the night by men in police uniform. Whoever is responsible for the killings, many Sunnis are utterly convinced that the new Shiite-led government is victimizing them for sectarian reasons.
For an Iraqi security body to arrest these people is a clear message of sectarianism.
The new government argues that the main force behind sectarian violence is the insurgency, and it doesn't deny it has agents inside ministries.
A big front in this war is a psychological one of spreading rumors and speculations and mistrust and fear. We've seen this clearly in killings that was attempted to provoke Shias, to say these are sectarian killings, get on with it, Shia, react. The government has been clear on this. Generally speaking, Shia leaders have been aware and they exercised very high restraint. There is possibility that the insurgency has some foothold in different ministries and the government is looking closely at it.
So, is Iraq sliding towards a sectarian civil war? The insurgents are certainly trying to provoke one, killing hundreds of people a month, mostly Shiite civilians. And Shiite militias do exist, and there have been some sectarian murders of Sunnis. But there are also forces working against violence. The main Sunni religious and political groups might feel victimized, but they've recently committed to join the political process of drafting a new constitution. There are claims that some of the less extreme insurgent groups are willing to negotiate a peace deal. Iraq is not yet over the edge.